Hey garage people, coming at you from the Fast and the Furious My Girlfriend's Garage. It is Saturday, and if you watched my video from yesterday, you saw that I got my piston to valve clearance all set with my new push rods from Summit, and everything is checked off the list. So, turn you around. Boom! Engine is coming back apart. I got the timing gear off already. Piston is out. I gotta put my new cam bearing in with the old one out, put the new one in, and then the crank can go, well, the crank still has to come out as well. I'll flip it over and pull that out. And then, we got our improved racing kit to put on the bottom after the crank is in and torqued, and the cam will come out, and the new bang will go in, and the cam will go in, and then it can go back on the stand. I'm waiting for some bolts on my oil pump. Those 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, I got them incoming, and then that little barbell in the back, which is under this cover as well. So after I flip this over, I think I'll be able to loosen this cover and then get the crank out while leaving this on the stand, or I will just flip it over and hook it to my crane here and just do it that way and set it on the table. So I got my Buddy Jason's valve spring tool on here right now, and I'm just putting my regular springs back on. Took off my checking springs and put them away. So I will get these set and make sure the retainers are set in the keepers, or the keepers are set in the retainers, and we'll be good to go. This cylinder head will be ready to install. So I've got all my stuff here. Lifters are soaking, got the new buckets, all the new bolts, so other cylinder head, got the head studs here, push rods, pistons are over here, and then all my hard parts as well. So I can start putting seals and stuff in those, but I'll have to do a little bit of waiting after I get ahead a little ways, because yeah, like I said, we can't put the oil pump on yet because we're waiting on the hardware. So there's a lot of other stuff we can do, so I am going to flip this over and see if I can get this cover loosened up enough that I can get the crankshaft out with this still on the stand. Then I can just lift the block onto my workbench here after I move stuff around, and then flip it upside down, pull the cam out, punch the old bearing out, put the new one in, and then put the cam home for good. So yeah, I'm gonna get these valves locked in, and then switch over the workbench here and kind of get things positioned so the motor can sit up on it. And I'll come back at you when I've got things either hanging from the crane or on the bench. Yeah. Hey, garagers. Camshaft is going in for the last time, for the first time. Mock-up is done. All the bearings are in. Got some assembly lube on them in the bottle here. My new cam. Gorgeous. So I'll put you guys up here. You can watch me put it in. Funnest install is the cam. And if you do it with the motor upside down, you can move it as you go. And also, you can move the lifters after it's in, because there's no crankshaft in the way. Much better. And you can balance it just like this. Put your hand in, grab the butt, got it through. No tools needed.
Don't get fooled.
Woo! Cam is in, folks. Ugh. New boss, folks. She's in town. Yo, garage people, coming at you with another update. Watching some just rolled in. Always a good time.
Check rear suspension for noise. Check back here, everything looks fine.
Check the rear suspension for noise.
The front. I don't think it's the rear, buddy.
Hey, but on my end, things are much better. Got my lifters soaking. Got my pistons all lined up, ready to go. I got all of my... Oh, I'm still going to mark that one. I've got all of my side skirt bolts torqued. A little message there. Thought that'd be fun for the next person, or me when I do this motor again. All these bolts are torqued, and all these bolts are torqued. I've got paint markers on all of them, so my mains are done. Put that in there as well. And also this. You can't see that one quite as good, but it says cased angle 125. And then SS number 0844. So that's fun. But all the mains are torqued. I've got this sweet Wiseco, love them, piston ring installer. This is a 99mm bore, 3.898 inch. This will only work for 99mm pistons, which is a bit limiting, but it works perfect for stock bore LS1s. And LS1s, you can't really overbore them. All you can do is hone them. And so if you honed it out a little bit bigger, you could still use this piston ring installer because it would clamp them down to this size, and then you could put them in anyway. So I bought it because I love LS1s, and this is definitely not the first one I'm going to do. This thing was like 35 bucks. And what it is a tapered ring installer. So you can see I've got it snugged up to the bottom of the piston here, and it compresses all the rings, so both the compression rings and all 3 of the oil rings. It compresses them down and holds them in there. So I've lubed up everything. And this sits in there just like this. So the piston is sitting in the compressor, about to be into the engine bore. And you can see the rod cap sitting right there. So what I will do is hold that rod end so it doesn't mar the crank journal, and then just tap on this with the end of a hammer. So I've got 7 more to do, well actually 8 more because I haven't even done this one yet. And I will put on the caps and then hit them all with the rattle gun and then flip it over and torque them all and mark them. And then when that's done, I can I can mock up my scraper. Because I wanted the pistons in first, so I make sure the rod cap's clear. So, fun stuff, moving forward. Cam plate is on and torqued. Cam is in. Yeah, BTR stage, LS1 stage 3 V2. That's why I love the LS1 right there. 5.7 liters, baby. 350 cubes. Or 346. So yeah, I'm going to punch these in, and I will come back to you guys when that's done, and I've got it upside down, and I'm messing with the crank scraper, because that is a new part, so I definitely want to highlight it. Woo! Hey, MGG crew! Coming at you from, of course, the garage. Look at this! Boom! The engine is on the stand. As you can see, the cam plate is on, the bolts are torqued. We've got pistons in both, in both sides of the engine. 8 pistons in. We have a crankshaft installed, obviously, and we have a new crank scraper and windage tray from Improved Racing. What this does is create these tiny little clearances between these rotating parts. As you can see, there's a gap there, a tiny little gap around there, and around there. The gap between that metal and that spinning crankshaft is about 25 thousandths of an inch. And you see when I rotate this over, as it spins around, the counterweights pass right by those flanges, and then the rod caps come around and pass right by those spots right there. And what that does, it scrapes the oil off the crank. So any oil that's connected, or rather just clinging onto the crankshaft, gets scraped off as it gets flung around by centrifugal force. It comes up against this scraper and gets peeled off and funneled back to the oil pan. So your level stays more consistent, but more importantly, you have no parasitic losses from the oil clinging onto the crank and the rods and the bottoms of the pistons. So I'm super excited about that. And then I got this new windage tray on as well. So that'll be excellent to go along with our baffle in the oil pan. So that plus the catch can, and then I've got the little oil pickup girdle coming, and the replacement for this plastic dog bone. We'll make up all of our stuff from Improved Racing, and that goes in this hole right here when we get it back upside right, which I am going to do shortly. I'm going to flip this thing back over. The bottom end is done, except for the oil pump, which we don't have. I mean, we have the pump, but we don't have the bolts yet. So I'm going to flip this over, and we will get the lifters in and the cylinder heads on, and the valley cover on, which is super exciting. We're waiting on the oil pan until we get everything solved with the pump, and then we can hook up the pickup and then make sure we're good on clearance, which it's the same as the factory, so it should be fine. But I'm holding off on all that. I've got a couple different O-rings to go on the pickup tube here. We'll see which one fits the best. There's the front of the cam, ready for the timing gear, which is hiding in here. So yeah, I'm gonna flip this thing back over and refresh my beverage.
If you've ever felt that you
Hoop
need
tea in here. It's pretty delicious. So yeah, I'm gonna flip this thing over, and I got the valve back on the cylinder head already. The factory, or not the factory, but the valve springs from TEA. My checker springs are off. Lifters are soaking. Buckets and push rods are right here. So I think I'm gonna flip this over and get those on, because that's very exciting. So yeah, we'll come back at you right after that. I'll give you my progress report after this baby's right side up. Woo-woo! All right, garage people, coming back at you with the next step in this engine assembly. The block is upright. The LS7 lifters and buckets are in and torqued. The deck surfaces are cleaned. Everything is ready to install. The heads are ready. I got my head gaskets over here. And I wanted to show you guys my gorgeous ARP 2000 series head stud kit, because they were expensive and you're not going to be able to see them at all. So I'm going to install these. How you actually have to install them is you put the head gasket on, you put the head on, and then you install these studs into the holes, and then you put the washers on, lube the threads, lube the bolts, or lube the nuts, and then torque them down to 30, 60, 90. And these little guys get just straight to 28. So much better than GM head bolts. Way more reliable. Although, let's see, these bolts here, it's this set right here. I believe that whole set was around, this stuff right here was around $300 or so. Maybe a little bit more. But I was looking at head bolts, and if you're going to spend 100 plus on head bolts, or 200 or whatever it is, you might as well just get the better studs and go to the top of the charts. So that's what I did. I got the top of the charts, the 2000 series studs, and that's going to clamp these heads down real good with a little bit of extra compression that I got, and the goal to spin this baby to 7,000 RPM. So overkill, maybe. Would I do it any other way? Heck no. So wanted to show those off. Here they are. I'm going to toss the head gaskets on here, get the heads sitting on, and get these things installed. Then I'll throw in my push rods and put on my rocker arms. And then I can go about fitting my valley cover and test fitting my valve covers with these new spacer gaskets and see what clearance is needed, if any. So that'll be super exciting. 2 more bags done with. Improved racing parts are on the bottom. Yeah, check out that crank scraper and windage tray combo. Looking real nice. All right, it's time to get some head assembly. Yeah, you're looking at a motor garage, people. Got the odd side cylinder head, well, both side cylinder heads on and torqued. The driver's side valve cover is on with the new valve cover gasket there to clear the rockers. But I have to modify these vents on the passenger side to be able to clear in between the rockers here. So that is not going to be installed quite yet. But that is the last thing for the top end of our motor. We've got our plugs in the block. We've got everything assembled. Our valley cover is on. We've got our knock sensors in. Our harness is on. We RTV'd the grommets. We got the new grommets in the bottom. So yeah, everyone's happy. Rear cover is not on yet. That is up here. That will be going on once the motor is hanging from the crane, so I can get at the rear cover. Obviously it's kind of blocked right now. The oil pan is not on because we are waiting for the bolts to put our oil pump on. So once that's on, we will secure the pickup and get the oil pan on. And then we can go about getting our front and rear covers on with our new seals and gaskets in here. New oil pump O-rings. Got new rear gasket, oil pan seal, oil pumps, water pumps, got seals. Yeah, so should be good to go. Part stash is dwindling. Still got the exhaust manifold gaskets, header gaskets there. Got the catch can. New ARP balancer bolt. Rear cover is right there. There's our Summit harmonic damper, which we will eventually mount and drill. Looks like I might have to pull this other ring off here to be able to get at that. I don't know. We'll see. Or else I just get a really long drill bit. But yeah, good stuff. I'm gonna roll this over here for the night and put the cardboard underneath it because it is dripping the bit of motor oil that I used to assemble it out the bottom. But everything is super hunky-dory with all this. I am super stoked with how it all came out. We got our crank scraper on there, our new windage tray, our double roller timing set. We got our Summit thick-ass push rods in there that you can just see a little bit of them. And we got our Yellowterra rockers. You can still see our Brian Tooley cam at the back. So yeah, we're super stoked on that, folks. So yeah, we got ourselves an engine. Got it put together today. Just waiting on some bolts, and we will finish her off. And then after that, I'll put, after we get the long block finished up with the oil pan on and the pump and all the metal parts on, like this valve cover, then I can hang it from the crane, and we will put the rear cover on and the bell housing, which is sitting over there, and then we can put on our new clutch and check the finger protrusion depth on that, or the engagement depth on the new master cylinder, because that is, or the new slave cylinder, because that'll be empty, so it'll easily compressed and take the measurement on. Set the clutch up, and then bolt this thing to the subframe and put the transmission on it. Obviously, there's a lot to do between now and then. We got to put the headers on, the wiring harnesses there. We got the front accessories, and we'll have to get new belts to fit that as well. But we're looking pretty good as far as engine assembly goes. So I had a real fun day putting all this together. I'm super happy with how it came out. All the numbers measured out really good. Again, my push rod, or my preload on the lifters was about a turn and a third, so it's right in that happy zone. Yeah, I'm stoked with this. So we're gonna let this RTV cure up. I got my sensors in, so yeah, this puppy is good to sit till we get our bolts in. And after that, we will modify our valve cover here so that fits, slap the new seal in there, and we'll continue with this engine assembly. Probably have to modify the front cover just a little bit to fit this double roller timing chain after we get the oil pump on there. But that's fine. No big deal. Very good stuff, guys. Yeah. Come back at you tomorrow. Or maybe not tomorrow. Tomorrow's the Super Bowl. But I'll be coming back at you next week. Keep wrenching, folks. Oh, I could show you before I... it turns over. Oh, yikes. Oh, geez. Okay, it's time for bed. All right, folks. Catch you later.